Hey you all, also hi to fellow dressmakers. You're welcome to another interesting tutorial. My name is Confidence. In this video, I'll be showing you how to make this cute stylish flare dress. So I won't only be showing you how to cut, I'll be showing you how to join, especially this sharp point that you see in this dress to have this neat finishing. So if you're interested in something like that, make sure you watch this video to the very end. And let's get to it.
Hello, you don't even know my name, but I am happy you came by.
So these are the materials I'll be using. I have this similar green London crepe. So this green one is London crepe, while this lavender is just the regular crepe material. So I'll be needing at least 2 yards of the lavender and then about 1.5 of the green. I won't be using everything that you see here. And we'll start by drafting the pattern. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now this pattern that you see here is not on fold, it's just single piece. And then let's just do the calculation. The whole length I'm working with is 42 inches and then the half length is 16 inches. So I'll just minus 16 inches from the 42 inches and I'll have 26 inches left. Okay, so this 26 inches now will be the length for the flare. That's the down part. And to get the radius, all you have to do is to divide your waist circumference by 6.28, which is the standard measurement for dividing a full circle. That is 360 degree. And when I divide my 28 inches divided by 6.28, I have 4.45 something. And I will just approximate that as 4.5. Okay, so 4.5 now will be the radius for the circle. And you know we have two colors for the flare, right? Let's just go ahead and do it here. Now what I will just do now is to go ahead and mark 4.5 at this tip here all around. I'll place my tape on the tip and then mark 4.5 all around and connect it like so. So this is the radius now. By the time I measure it, I have exactly my waist measurement. So you can decide to add zipper allowance if you want, but this is pattern. I think I'll be doing that while cutting on the fabric. Okay. So the next thing I'll do now is to get the length of the green part of the flare, and I want that to be 10 inches. You see, I place my tape exactly on the radius to get the 10 inches. Then I'll start from the tip again to measure to that 10 inches. Whatever I have there, I'll just go ahead and measure that same thing here. And I have 14.5, okay? So I have 14.5 here and 14.5 on the other side. I'll go ahead and measure 14.5 again on this part just to have a square, okay? Let's go ahead and measure 14.5 like you see me doing here. And then after marking, I'll just go ahead and connect the points just to make it square like this. Now we are done. The next thing now is to get the longer part of the flare, that is the purple part of the flare. And you remember our flare length is 26 inches, so I'll just go ahead and mark 26 inches all around there. And I'm placing my tape again on the radius, not from the tip. Okay, so after marking it all around, I'll just go ahead and connect it. It's that simple. I'm sorry you can't see the other part, but I'll just show you now. So I have something like that. And I forgot to mention, I actually joined my paper because it's not that long enough to contain my measurements. Now, you see this part I'm pointing at, in case you feel that it's too long, you know, this green part, just go ahead and reduce it. It's simple. So I'll just go ahead and reduce it minus 2 inches from what I have before. Okay, instead of 14.5, I'm marking 12.5 now. Again, I'm just making it square. Just go ahead and mark your 12.5 like that. It's not going to be all around, just to see me do it here. So we'll be using this new line now because I feel the other one is almost close to it's too close to the other one. Okay, so let's just go ahead and cut. First I'll just cut off the radius, and after that I'll cut this part here, which will be the green part of the flare. You should have something like this when you're done. Okay, so let's just go ahead and use this one now to cut on the fabric. Like I say, this will be for the green fabric, and then this will be the lavender color of the fabric. So my fabric is folded into four, just the same way you fold to cut your full circle, just like that. Folded into two first, and then I'll just go ahead and fold it again to make it 4 folds, just to contain the what I have on this paper with just about ½ inch. Just watch what I'm doing. Okay, after that I'll just go ahead and secure the pin, the paper on the fabric before we cut it out. So I mentioned before that I didn't add zipper allowance on the measurements, and as you can see, I just got exactly what I have on the radius here, meaning that I did not add zipper allowance. The reason is because this is a stretchy fabric. By the time I'm done, it will be excess. It will be more than 28 inches. I have 28 inches on the paper, right? But it's a stretchy fabric. Don't worry, we'll get to that. Now for the lavender, I'll just go ahead and do the same thing I did for the green one. I'm adding just ½ inch joining allowance on this upper part. I would do the same for the down part. Don't forget to pin down the paper on the fabric so you don't end up like me. I hope you can see that. So this step is very important. Just go ahead and notch all these sharp points. That ½ inch you added as joining allowance, just go ahead and notch it. Do the same for the green. Just as you can see me do here, I'm notching all the vital parts. And the down part is ready. Let's just go ahead and do the upper part, and the upper part is just the irregular bodice. I'll just go ahead and measure my half length. My fabric is folded for the record. I'll just go ahead and get my half length. My half length is 17 inches, and I'm adding extra ½ inch as joining allowance. After that, I'll go ahead and measure my shoulder measurement divided by 2, and I'm going down from that point to my armhole length, and I'm using 8.5. I'll just go ahead and connect it like this. I'll just make this as fast as possible because it's just the regular half scale bodice. Okay, now for the shoulder slanting, I use 0.75 because this is direction on the fabric. I usually do 1.5, and for the neckline I'm using 2.5. By the time I'm done, it will be around 3.5 for the wideness. And then on the armhole line, I'm just putting my bust measurement divided by 4 plus extra 1.5 allowance. On the waist, I do the same thing. My waist circumference divided by 4 plus extra 1.5 allowance and 1.5 for that. And for the dart, I'm using 4 inches, 6.5 for the length. And then another way you can get the length is to just go down 1 inch from your bust point. My bust point is 10. Go down again to 1 inch. That would be 11 inches. And that's exactly what I have here, which is 6.5. Now on both sides of that line, I'll just mark 0.75, which is the 1.5 we added on the side. The next thing I'll do is to just go ahead and tighten the chest area. I will measure what I have from the shoulder slanting down to the length of the armhole and divide that by 2, get the midpoint. On that midpoint, I'll just mark 0.75. Oh, okay, ½ inch because this is directly on the fabric. And we are done. Just go ahead and cut it off, and we'll go to the back. When you are done cutting, don't forget to notch the dart legs. And for this back now, I don't want to say much about it because it's already looking complicated. I usually tighten the center back with 1 inch because my center back is not straight. I don't know about yours. And then again, I usually come up by 2 inches or 1.5 because the front length and the back length is not equal. Mine is not equal. So I usually come up by 1.5 or 2 inches from that point. So basically the center back length will be 16 inches instead of the 17.5 we have for the front. Then for the side of this back, it's still that 17.5. I hope you get. So this is another way you can do it if you're not drafting on the paper first before transferring to your fabric. After all of that, I'll just go ahead and do the same thing I did for the front. For the shoulder slanting, I used ½ inch, and then I'll just go ahead and do my bust circumference divided by 4 plus extra 1.5. And if you notice, it's already complicated. Let me not make it more complicated. Just go ahead and do what is right. I'll leave another video here where you can learn all these things I'm saying, but I want this part to be as fast as possible because it's just the regular half length. Okay, and there won't be any dart for the back because I don't usually do that for my back bodice, especially when the fabric is stretchy like this one. The neckline is 2.5 by 3 inches, 2.5 for the width and 3 inches for the depth, and it's just round neckline. I just go ahead and cut. See if you can understand what I was trying to explain before. Okay, can you see that this center back now is not straight, it's kind of slanty. Now just go ahead and cut off all the part that is meant to be cut out. Now let's go ahead and do the sleeves. And for the sleeves, you just cut your basic sleeves. The only difference is that I'm adding extra allowance to the normal measurement I usually use to cut my basic sleeves for the pleat that you see on the dress. Okay, so the length I have here is 8 inches, and then I'll just use 3 inches to curve it like you see me do here. Like I said, it's just the regular sleeves, just that it's extra so that we have the pleat that you see on the dress. After that, I'll just go ahead and cut it out, and I'm cutting for the two, the two sleeves. Notch this midpoint, and we have it. And the next thing I'll do now is to come down from this point 2 inches, then I will just curve it like so. I'll later be modifying this, but when we get to that point I'll still show you. For now, I used 2 inches. I came down 2 inches from the armhole curve, okay, and then curve it like that. And for the purple part of the sleeves, you remember this piece is the one we cut out from the flare, okay, so I'll just use it for the sleeve, the purple part of the sleeves. Now what I'll do is to take this green one, this basic sleeves, and measure what I have around this hem. Okay, I'll measure it, and I have about, let's say, 13 inches. I'll make sure that what I have on the radius is that 13 inches or even more than. You can do more than if you want pleats, but I don't want pleats, except for, you already saw the sleeves, so you know what I'm talking about. Now I have 6 inches here, and I'll just go ahead and mark 6 inches. 6 inches gives me 4.5. I have 4.5 left, which is okay for me. And then I'll just come down from this point to, I'll measure the same 4.5. I'll measure it all around, but then I measure this part and I notice that it's not up to 13 inches that we are looking for. So what I'll do now is to, you see this part here, I'll just come up 4.5 and then measure what I have from the tip to that point, measure it all around to meet the other line that you already have there. Just watch closely, you do not need much explanation. And by the time I measure it, I have what I was looking for, and I'll just go ahead and cut it out. So basically, for that purple part of the sleeve, you just need a half circle. Okay, you need a half circle. By the time I open it, you see that it's just a half circle. It's that simple. So it's going to be like this. You're going to join it all around the hem of this green part of the sleeves. It's pretty simple. So if you want it extra, just go ahead and cut small of this purple so that you can gather it around there, but I don't need that, but I'll still be showing you what I mean. So just go ahead and cut another flare, or you increase the radius. Okay, it's that simple. By the time you cut this one out now, you can join it to the other one we have before to make it longer, so that you have the allowance for pleats. Like I said, I won't be needing that. Now that we are done cutting all the cuttables, let's just go ahead and start joining. We are done with the pattern paper, so I'll just go ahead and remove it. and then slash open one side of this flare. That would be going to the back. That is very important, except you're not adding zipper. Okay, the next thing you do now is to go ahead and arrange it like so. You remember those notches we did earlier? You're just going to match all of them up. Okay, and it's going to be right side facing right side. I hope you know that. Now go ahead and make sure that the two notches here are matching up, then you pin it down. You're going to repeat this same thing until you get to the end of the flare. Okay, and now I'll take it to the sewing machine so that we'll join it. Welcome to my sewing machine. It's important that you have this green on top, like this on top like this, so that you see the green will be the one you're seeing. I'm going to join. When you get to that sharp point, just watch closely. When you get to that sharp point, you're going to match up that notch. Can you see that? You're going to match it up, and then when you get exactly on the center of that notch, you're going to make sure that your needle is inside the fabric. Then you take the machine, what do I call that, just take it up, then roll your fabric, then you start stitching again. I hope I did that explanation well. So just go ahead and join. When I get to this part 2, I'll do the same thing. That is, I'll make sure that the two notches are matching up, and then I sew. Once I get to the center of that notch, I'll lift up the machine teeth. Please help a sister in the comment section, because I don't know what this is called, seriously. Like this, and then arrange the fabric, arrange both the upper part and then the down part of the fabric. Make sure it's not folding on the inside, and then you continue stitching. It's that simple. You can use this method to join any sharp edge that you want to join. So just go ahead and continue with the rest of the joining until I get to that point, repeating the same process. Okay, and it's time for the unveiling. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Bro, can you see that? Can you see? It's just the same thing all to the other end. Okay, you just go ahead and give it a good press open the stitches on the inside, and you are good. Now let's quickly do the sleeves. Like I said, I would be modifying the sleeves. I called it the more. Okay, if you want these sleeves to come out very well, increase the width of these sleeves. I hope you get what I mean. Just go ahead so that you have much pleats. It will be more beautiful, I tell you. But I just want it like this. I'll be doing these sleeves later. So what you do is you go ahead and match the center of the purple and then the center of the green up like that, and then you start sewing. You're just going to go ahead and join. It's simple. Just go ahead and join it all the way to the other end. If there is need for you to pleat, go ahead and pleat. But I don't have much pleats because I don't want it. I did mean I wanted pleats. Like I said before, increase this purple, increase the radius of the purple. And right after I'm done, this is what I have. Can you see that? Go ahead and iron it to make it even super neat. And the next thing you do now is to go ahead and fold the down part so that it contains your elastic band. But I don't want to fold, I want to use bias. And after that, this is what I have. You just go ahead and pass your elastic. For the length of the elastic, I'm using my round sleeve measurement. My round sleeve measurement minus 2 inches. It's supposed to be 11, but I minus 2 inches, making it 9 inches. And that's the length of this elastic that I'm using here. After that, make sure you secure it so that the elastic doesn't go inside. And this is what we have after ironing. Can you see that? Can you see? You should have something like this too after you're done. Now what I'll do now is to just go ahead and get the midpoint of this flare. I will notch the midpoint, and then I take the upper part and do the same thing. Notch the midpoint of the upper part. And just so we are on the same page, this is what the upper part looks like after joining it. I fix the sleeves and I use facing for the neckline. That is why it's this neat. And for the sleeve, you can see the pleat that we talked about. So that's just basically it. Now what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and match up this upper part to the flare part, and then I'll go to my sewing machine and join it. It's that simple. I just go ahead and arrange it like so. If yours is excess, you don't worry, just go ahead and pleat. And you see that thing I was saying before, I didn't add any zipper allowance on the flare, and it's matching up with the upper part which has zipper allowance. Flare has this way of expanding after cutting, especially if it's a stretchy fabric. So after joining the upper part to the down part, I'll just go ahead and close this part so that I can fix the sleeve. This is the back, okay, that part that we slashed open. I'll just go ahead and close it and then fix my visible zipper. You can also use any zipper of choice, but I'm using a visible zipper. And if you don't know how to go about your invisible zipper, I have a video already on the channel on how to go about that. Go ahead and check it out because you'll be glad you did. So this will be the end of our tutorial. Do let me know your thoughts in the comment section and let me know what you like most about this video. And I'll see you on my next one. Be good. Bye.